Welcome to the Infinite Campus Training for Teachers. This video is for elementary, middle, and high school teachers and goes over accessing Infinite Campus and logging in, locating helpful resources on how to learn more about Infinite Campus, taking attendance, navigating Infinite Campus, setting up various items in Infinite Campus, and more. It is helpful for new teachers as well as existing teachers to serve as a refresher on Infinite Campus. Please see the QR code or tiny URL at the top of this page for a link to slides that includes this information as well. Let's get started. Teachers can access Infinite Campus from the GoView page that launches when opening the browser in a new browser window. By typing in jcps.me/ic in your URL bar, or by navigating to the login page via Employees and Logins, and then selecting Infinite Campus from the Logins menu. Once on the login page, all students and staff will select the JCPS Staff and Students Login Here button, rather than entering login credentials. The username and password is not utilized on this screen. Once logged into Infinite Campus, the Teaching Center displays. This is where teachers can take attendance as well as perform other tasks. Clicking on the waffle in the top right corner allows teachers to navigate to a place called Campus Learning. Campus Learning Home is where teachers can search for videos and resources on any campus instruction teacher tools. To learn more about Campus Teacher Tools, teachers will click the search button under the first topic, Understand Campus, on the Campus Learning home page. Additionally, clicking on the question mark icon in the top right brings up help resources, including videos, regardless of where a user is in Infinite Campus. So if you have the assignment screen open and you want to learn more, click the question mark to access helpful articles and videos from the Infinite Campus learning community. For example, this is what a user will see upon selecting the question mark icon from the Teaching Center. JCPS has additional resources as well for teachers and office staff in the Quick Links menu. There is an option for the JCPS TLC site. The TLC site, or Technical Learning Center, is a learning hub for teachers and other JCPS staff that houses in-house resources to various tools, including Infinite Campus, Google, ThrillShare Aptogee, and more. And last, but certainly not least, is the JCPS Digital Learning Channel. This is a YouTube channel hosted by JCPS that allows staff to find videos on a plethora of items, including Canva, Google, Infinite Campus, and more. Once on the Digital Learning Channel, users can save helpful playlists and search for items within the channel by clicking on the search button next to Playlist towards the center of the screen. Next, we will go over navigating Infinite Campus, which includes the main menu, favorites, top 10 recent tools, and searching for student data. Let's begin. 3 tabs display on the left panel of the screen in Infinite Campus. The first tab is your main menu. The main menu displays all tools that a user has access to. The next tab is favorites. Any item that you've marked as a favorite displays on the favorites panel. The third tab is your recent tools. The Recent Tools panel will display the top 10 recent tools that you visited. As an example, we will click on the star in the Teaching Center and mark it as a favorite. Now, when we navigate to the Favorites panel, we will see that the Teaching Center has been identified as a favorite. Additionally, when we move to the Current Tools panel, the Teaching Center displays at the top of the current tools, indicating it was the most recent item visited. However, if we click on Roster, which is also recently visited, it now bumps up to the very top of our recent tools. You may not need to identify things as favorites that you visit often because they will always reside on your recent tools. So again, we're on our Recent Tools panel, which displays our top 10 recent tools. A few ways to navigate back to the Teaching Center is either from your navigation panel where you have recent tools or favorites, or if you have classroom navigation enabled, you can click on the house icon next to your course to navigate back to the Teaching Center. In the Teaching Center, or in your left panel, you can also click on the hamburger to hide the left panel to give you more space to work in. Clicking back on the hamburger displays the left panel again. Like we mentioned, the very first tab is your main menu. Under your main menu, selecting instruction will display all tools accessible to teachers, such as rosters and grading. All grading tools that are available for teachers are going to be under instruction. Under student information, you will see your student information tools, such as grades, schedule, and more. If we select grades and we do not have a student selected, we will get prompted to select a student. If we have a student selected, it will show us student information for that student that is selected. Let's navigate to a different student by clicking on the search button. On the search panel with students selected, you can click on the search button, then to display all students you have access to, and move from student to student in your search panel. If you have the student number, you can also enter it in the search area. We'll enter in a student number and click search, and that student displays. Now we will select Victor. Next, we will select another student by searching last name, first name. We'll search for Kate Amar. In this case, we will just type in AM, K-A, and hit search, and Kate displays. Once a student is selected and you are in a particular module, all other tabs related to that module display on the right. So we can scroll down and click from grades to schedule. Clicking on related tools hides or collapses the related tools menu. Additionally, you can navigate backwards using the breadcrumbs in the top right corner to go back to general and then back to student information to view all student information tabs. If you're unsure where to locate something, you can switch your student search to a tool search and search for that item. For example, this time we'll type in contact to search for a contact log. All of the contact logs we have access to display. Here, we'll select the PLP contact log and perhaps mark it as a favorite. Now that we've marked it as a favorite, we will bounce back to our hamburger to view all three tabs and go to our favorites panel. We will see the two items marked as a favorite. Back in the Teaching Center, another way to navigate back to the Teaching Center is by clicking on the Infinite Campus logo. Once the Teaching Center returns, you'll see that you have Enable Classroom Navigation option. If Enable Classroom Navigation is on, you'll see that your classes are hyperlinked and you can quickly jump to them by clicking on the hyperlinked class, which also allows you the options to view full screen and view as student. However, it doesn't allow you to mark any of the items from within your instruction area as a favorite. We'll navigate back to the Teaching Center, turn off classroom navigation, and then we'll navigate to our main menu and go to instruction and then go to gradebook. And we'll now see the option to mark items as favorites display. So we'll mark gradebook as a favorite. We'll mark roster as a favorite and any other item we want marked as a favorite. We can easily turn the Enable Classroom Navigation option back on by returning back to the Teaching Center in whatever way we'd like and clicking Enable Classroom Navigation. Whenever new tools become available by Infinite Campus, you'll see a box that pops up at the beginning of your login when you access the Teaching Center that will tell you about that new tool, such as the new questions functionality displayed here. It'll give you a brief overview of that tool and then an option to do not show me this again. Once you've reviewed that tool and understand how it works and have no further questions, you can select Don't Show Me This Again and then click Close and search for tutorials on that tool later. Next, we will discuss how teachers take attendance in Infinite Campus. Elementary teachers take attendance once a day at the beginning of the day. Middle and high school teachers take attendance every period, and teachers can only mark attendance for the current day. Once attendance is processed by the front office, teachers can no longer edit any absences marked in Infinite Campus. Teacher-marked attendance shows up as yellow A's for absent or T's for tardy. Elementary teachers should never mark students tardy. while middle or high school teachers should never mark students tardy for first period, but may mark students tardy for any subsequent period. Let's get started. We will begin the attendance process by clicking on the head and shoulders with the red dot under period 1. Our class displays to the right. Allison and Zoe are not in class today, so we will proceed by marking them absent and clicking Save. Next, we will hit Close. The red dot now switches to a check, indicating that attendance has been taken. Additionally, teachers can navigate to Instruction, Attendance, to take attendance. Both screens mirror each other. You can think of it as a different door to the same room. On the middle and high school level, teachers take attendance at the beginning of every period. Any students absent a first period must be marked absent and not tardy. Any students late to school will be processed in the front office and then arrive to class. We will discuss some teaching center options, such as renaming blocks and enabling classroom navigation. It is important to note that updates made to the Teaching Center do not display on the student or parent portal and do not affect Google Classroom. Let's take a look. Initially, the Teaching Center displays the full course and section number. We will click on the pinwheel to change the way the class displays in our Infinite Campus view. We will begin by renaming it World History Period 2. Then we will assign a new icon. We will color this one red and click Save. We can see it now reads World History Period 2 with red books. Changing the Teaching Center display can make the view more understandable for teachers that may be thinking of it as first block history or second block and so forth. It is also especially helpful for classes with waterfall schedules, such as classes that last multiple periods. The classroom navigation option is optional and changes the display of how tools are viewed. To enable it, we'll click the toggle to turn it from off to on. Now that classroom navigation is enabled, we see our sections are hyperlinked and selectable from the Teaching Center window. Note that classroom navigation view also allows teachers to view data from a student's perspective. The Enable Classroom Navigation option can only be updated from the Teaching Center. To learn more about Teaching Center options, we recommend you click on the question mark in the top right. In this next segment, we will discuss categories of academic grades and how they relate to grading in Infinite Campus, how to verify categories in Infinite Campus, and where to locate the SPPG. To navigate to the SPPG, select Students and Families from the JCPS website, and then select Handbooks and Frameworks. The SPPG, or Student Promotion and Progression and Graduation Handbook for each level, provides policies and procedures for how learners progress through each level and are promoted. Each teacher should be familiar with the SPPG handbook for each level they teach. In this video, we are focusing on the reporting of student progress portion of the SPPG. Here, you will see that the elementary and middle school level, the only category of academic grades is mastery, whereas on the high school level, they utilize student mastery and student progression. You may be thinking, what are categories in relation to Infinite Campus? First of all, categories are weighted folders that hold assignments. All assignments are placed in a category. Assignments cannot be saved unless a category is attached to the class. This presentation will show you how to verify that categories are attached to all of your classes. The SPPG defines the guidelines around weighting on categories. All assignments in elementary or middle school level are placed in student mastery, whereas assignments in high schools can be placed in student progression or student mastery. To verify categories, you will select Settings inside of your gradebook. It is on a blue rectangular box with the white lettering for Settings. Then, within Settings, you will select Categories. On the elementary and middle school level, you will just need to select Student Mastery. Once you select Student Mastery, you will verify that it is set to 100% on the weight column and that it is attached to all of your classes except for Homeroom on the elementary level. Always click Save when any edits are made. On the high school level, you will need to verify that both Student Mastery and Student Progression are attached to all of your classes. This also applies to a high school course taught on a middle school level. You will verify that Student Mastery is between 70 and 90, and Student Progression is between 10 and 30. and they should add up to 100% total. So if mastery is 70, then progression should be 30, for example. They should be attached to all of your classes. Again, always click Save when any edits are made. Teachers can update instruction setting options to apply to all sections at once. This includes showing active students, which hides the dropped students, displaying student numbers, pronouns, or pictures on tools such as roster, seating chart, and gradebook, using custom canned comments for report cards, allowing the option to use seating charts for attendance, and displaying pass-fail coloring for assignments and grade calculations. Let's check it out. To navigate to instruction settings, we will click on the head and shoulder icon in the top right and select Instruction Settings from the User menu. If the application to load upon login is set to Campus Tools, then the Teaching Center won't display when teachers first log on to Infinite Campus. This can be updated by switching it from Campus Tools to Campus Instruction. Here, we have it set to Instruction. Show active students only hides the dropped students from your classes. Teachers can select Show Student Number, Show Student Pronouns, or Show Student Picture to display these items on tools such as the gradebook, roster, or seating charts. If using seating charts or using seating charts for attendance, Show Student Picture must be selected to see the pictures in the seating charts. Use Canned Comments allows the option to utilize custom comments from Infinite Campus when putting in report card grades and comments. These can be customized for each student. The Show All Present confirmation option is not currently utilized by JCPS. Checking Show Pass-Fail Coloring for grades and Show Pass-Fail Coloring for scores allows the passing grades to display in green and the failing grades to display in red. The Mute Pass-Fail Coloring beneath that is an option for colorblind teachers. As always, click Save whenever making any modifications to any tools within Infinite Campus. The grade calculation segment discusses how to verify that grade calculation options are set up appropriately for elementary, middle, and high schools. What are grade calc options? Grade calc options determine how the in-progress and posted area calculates the student's grades based on assignment scores. The in-progress area of the gradebook will either not calculate at all or calculate incorrectly if there is no grade calc option set up or the wrong one applied. Here's a high school example of where assignment grades have been entered, but the center area of the gradebook is not populated at all. To check the grade calc options, select Settings from the gradebook. Then, navigate to the grade calc options selection within Settings. Here's an elementary example using literacy. On the elementary level, all special area, as well as K through 3 core content, select EL primary from the grading scale and check weight categories. Grade 4 and 5 core content, select EL intermediate. Here's an example of special area classes. EL primary is selected under grading scale for all special area classes, grades K through 5. On the middle school level, select Grading Scale MS for the quarter task for semester or year-long classes and final grade for 9-week classes. All other grading tasks should be left at no calculation. High school classes taught on the middle school level should have Grading Scale HS selected next to final grade or semester with everything else left at no calculation. High school classes will have Grading Scale HS selected for Term 3 or 6 semester grading task, or Term 6 final grade, with everything else left at no calculation.